Over the last 5 years, at least 6 senior Fed officials have been implicated in serious ethics scandals related to personal stock trading and self-dealing. But instead of trying to repair this broken culture, I'm concerned that you seem to be embracing it. At the time of your nomination, you owned more than $100 million worth of shares in private investment vehicles called the Juggernaut Funds and THSDFS LLC. And you refused to disclose the underlying assets to the Senate and to the public. You say now that you've sold those shares. In other words, somebody wrote you a check for more than $100 million days before you entered office. Chair Walsh, who wrote that check?
Senator Warren, this is a discussion you and I had in the public square 7 weeks ago, and I'm thrilled to tell you that I have fully honored the obligations I had under the agreement I had with the Office of Government Ethics.
Yeah,
and there is continued disclosure, which I'm happy to make as consistent with the agreement. I asked a very
specific question. Who gave you $100 million right before you were sworn in? Was it a billionaire who has business with the Fed? Was it Stanley Druckenmiller, who's made billions of dollars betting on what the Fed does? Or was it a different billionaire? Who gave you the money?
I will fully comply with the Office of Government Ethics.
That's not an answer.
Well, it is an answer, actually, Senator, because there are
not.
Obligations,
it's
and I will satisfy them completely.
$100 million that you got just before you were sworn in, and you won't tell the American people where it came from. Let's go to another incident. As you know, the Fed imposes a blackout period where senior Fed officials are prohibited from talking about economic issues with outsiders. The idea is to, quote, reinforce the public's confidence in the transparency and integrity of the monetary policy process. In other words, no one gets some special insider information from the Fed. But shortly after your first FOMC meeting as chair, right in the middle of the blackout period, the Fed's vice chair for supervision, Michelle Bowman, was reportedly the featured guest at a secret dinner hosted by Bank of America for its hedge fund and Wall Street clients. At this closed-door dinner, she reportedly spoke about both monetary policy topics and regulatory policy. Now, I've called on the Inspector General to review her conduct, but you're the guy in charge. As chair, you set the tone on culture. Did Vice Chair Bowman provide any non-public information to the attendees at that secret dinner or discuss any regulatory policy matters that are subject to open comment periods?
Senator, I agree with one of the premises of your question, which is I do set the culture.
Good.
After my very first week at the Fed, I sent a letter to the 21,000 people at the Fed outlining our culture.
I appreciate that, but we have very limited time and a very strict chairman. So can you just answer the question about the vice chair and her secret meeting?
Sure, I'm happy to the extent I can share it with you. The vice chair has been an excellent colleague in my first 7 weeks. I'm aware of the letter you sent to the Inspector General. Out of an enormous respect for him, his investigation, what he chooses to do with it, I'm going to leave to him to do without trying to micromanage that.
So
I'd be interested in the judgments that he comes to.
So you will support his investigation. Have you made your own investigation? Did you ask her if she spoke at a secret meeting during the blackout period?
I agree with the suggestion that the Inspector General is an independent actor, and I'd be very interested in his decision.
You just said you're the guy in charge. Did you ask her about the secret meeting that took place? Did you ask her?
I can answer a simple question, which is I wasn't at the meeting. I don't know the facts.
No one.
But I'd be very interested in the fact finding being done by an independent Inspector General.
Did you care enough to ask? How can you be chair and not ask your own vice chair whether or not she violated the blackout period, violated the law?
I think it'd be inappropriate for me to prejudge facts that are being discovered by an independent actor.
I don't know how you prejudge them if you don't ask.
Well, I don't know how to prejudge them if I wasn't in the attendance of a meeting.
Did you ask?
She's been an excellent colleague.
Did you ask?
I've asked her a lot of things
Did you
about
ask?
supervision and regulation.
Yeah,
because
I
we've been
think that's
busy
one
doing
more
a lot of
question
real
you
work
don't
over
wanna
the last
answer.
7
I got to
weeks.
say, I'm going to take the same time you did. I just got to say,
You hope so.
the tone that you are setting is one that seems to invite corruption, and that's going to be a real problem.
Mr.
We've
Brown.
had 7 weeks, Senator Warren, and we've set a tone of performance, accountability, responsibility, and integrity.